Record.
Namaste and a very good evening to one and all present here. Let me introduce myself. I'm Priya Sandeep, a soft skills trainer and a motivational speaker. Welcome to Leaders Connect 360 Foundations, episode LC0232. Leaders Connect 360 Foundation is a non-profit organization aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDG. Our mission is to invite 1,000 plus leaders and create 1,000,000 leaders every Wednesday. Million leaders. Every Wednesday, we come together from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. IST on Zoom live to gain insights from top management leaders and authors. And once every quarter, we take it offline in different cities to network, support, and grow together. Because at Leaders Connect 360, we strongly feel that leaders create more leaders. Before we kickstart the session, a quick reminder, please keep your videos on for an engaging experience. First-time visitors, check out our WhatsApp, Facebook, and LinkedIn links in the chat box to stay connected and grow with us. This episode is being recorded for our community archives. Now, let's set the energy high. If you're excited and ready for an impactful session, drop a thumbs up or a smiley in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you. And before we go, let me introduce our guest speaker, Mr. V S Ranganath, Vice President and Head, Human Resources, Tropilite Food Pvt Ltd. Let me also introduce Mr. Pankaj, Managing Partner, Bija Training, who will be interacting with our guest alongside our panel discussion leader, Ms. Alagu Lakshmanan, Life Coach, Founder, ALisWELL, Beacon of Hope. Without any further ado, let's get started. Over to you, Pankaj.
Thank you so much, Miss Priya. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone, and special welcome, Mr. Ranganath and Ms. Alagu to the session. And sir, it's really delight for us to have you for this session. And the topic for today is also very relevant. That is the building a culture of accountability, because that is what is now missing to a certain extent, right? And that is what people need to realize and understand what accountability means when they are at work, right? So let's see what we are going to learn today from the talk which I'm going to share with us today. So before we move forward, I would like to officially welcome you, sir, and Mr. Lagu and visitors through a mode of a welcome video. So Arul, can we have the welcome video for our guest, please? And Thank you so much, Arul. So here's an official welcome to you, sir, and Alagu. Over to you for panel discussion, Mr. Alagu.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pankaj and Arul, for the video. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Ranganath. Thank you for accepting our invite. To set the tone and to start with the basic, let's dwell into what accountability is actually. We speak a lot about accountability these days, and whether it is personal goal or professional life. So let's start with the basic of what do you mean by accountability and what do we do about it.
Okay. So thank you very much for Leadership Connect 360 Degree Foundation for inviting me for today's session. It's a really great pleasure to be part of such an August gathering with all of you. I just would like to share some of my, experiential validation, having worked with companies like, manufacturing, FMCG, IT, telecom, engineering, and agriculture. Now I'm in a food industry. See, what it means that, before getting into the context of the, topic, so what I learned, the accountability is not about enforcing the rule, I read again, it is not about the enforcing the rule. It is about inspiring leadership. It is about creating an environment where people take responsibility not because they have to do, but because they want to.
Correct.
See the difference between it is not the responsibility because they have to do. The moment you start imposing the rules, the moment you start putting the guidelines, they always, people start electing, people start rejecting. People always think that why should I? What should I get if I do the like this? So I think we need to create such an environment where people has to do on their own. People has to feel on their own. Oh, it is my responsibility. I am accountability. I think that's where the biggest challenge. If you see any organization or maybe at a family also, we all managing our own kids, teenage kids. See, the moment you start kids, don't do that. They do that because they always feel that why they are saying that not to do,
Correct.
because they start rebelling kind of thing.
Yeah, rebel.
I think that's the most important. We all need to keep in mind as a leader, as HR people, as a HR, as a people managers. I think we need to create. This is our responsibility to create that environment. I think that's where I would, look at responsibility comes into.
Yeah. Yeah. So responsibility has to come with will and not by force. And how does that lead to accountability? So we are given a responsibility, and then so how does that lead to accountability?
Yeah. See, I think that's very good to ask. How responsibility relating to accountability. I think, in organizations, first of all, I just would like to reiterate, how do we build the culture? Culture is not that, where somewhere, somebody is imposing on us, or we need to learn from different places and we need to wait for somebody to come and teach us. I think the culture is within ourselves. I think you and me today, we're all sitting towards different kind of geographies and different kinds of diversity group companies, diversity people are there. I think we need to create that culture. How do we create the culture? First of all, I think the first and foremost important aspect, I think we all need to keep in mind that is shared values and beliefs. I think we all know that we're all coming from in different kinds of family cultures. So why we say the family is a culture? Because upbringing is also the culture. I think you all know that we being a South Indians, we all know that when we want to go for a marry a woman or a male, we always look at the 7 stages of their family's culture, how they're grown into their lives, what is their growth perspectives,
Yeah.
how they've grown in their family kind of thing. So that is what I'm trying to say. The values and belief are much more important, which are collective principles. I think that's where we are today calling as ethics.
Correct.
And priorities to guide people to think. Number one. Number two, which is the most important element, I think the behavioral norms and practices. As simple as that. We have a custom, we have a tradition, but how do you demonstrate that? I think that's also make a lot of difference. That's where how do you practice that custom? How do you practice that belief? That is called the visible trait. I'll give a small example. How can you say that this person is always happy guy, lucky go? Because whenever you see that person, you always feel happy in your face. You always wish everybody good morning or good evening kind of thing. How can you say that? Because he or she demonstrating that trait.
It's that, yeah.
In the same way, if you can see some people always looks very dull, very gloomy. So they never wish anyone. They feel that entire world on their shoulders.
Yes.
They look at lost every time. Immediately we can say, "Arey, what is this? Yeah, this guy always looks very shabby. He always looks very dull. I
Yeah.
never talk. I never wish to talk to him because a lot of negative energy comes into." How do we say that? Because of the person, the traits which are demonstrating, which are practicing, which are visible to all of us. That is again the visible ways to interact, communicate, and collaborate. That is where they're reflecting how things we are doing in the organization, as well as in the family, as well as in the society. The
Yeah.
third most important element I just want to share here, the work environment and the identity. See the overall atmosphere, the leadership style, employee experience. I think you guys all know that today, irrespective of any segment we are work today, people are always look for the experience. How do I create that experience in the organization? Which is the most important element. For example, take a small example. Hiring is an experience. For example, any person come for an interview. If somebody is wishing him, somebody is offering a coffee, somebody is telling that where is a washroom, where is some, because this is called experience. Otherwise, what will happen? The person staying in a waiting room for more than 2 3 hours, nobody is responding, nobody is wishing him. Then what kind of experience you are creating?
Correct.
I think see today, people are not looking for only joining organization, not only for the CTC. They're
Yes.
joining companies for the culture.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think I just want to share one example here. If we call for any person for interview, the moment we say that you have to meet Ranga, you have to meet some other XYZ person, immediately what they will do, they'll set their
See
LinkedIn
the
profile.
yeah.
Why? Because they want to understand which background they are coming from, what are the companies they work for, so that he or she can also tune towards the way they want to respond to
What is
the
expected? Yeah.
the discussion, their expected kind of thing. I think this is a way we could able to curate collectively and create the culture.
Yeah. So, like how you said, creating a culture and experience for the employees as a leaders. How can we make roles and expectations so clear that accountability becomes natural and not by force? Like how you talked about responsibility, taking with will. So similarly, how can we make the roles and expectations in a clear way so that it is accountability also becomes part of their work culture and it's not by force.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for asking. Very good question. See, I believe clarity is the foundation of accountability. Today, why most of the people leave the organizations? Why most of the people are not able to perform their jobs? Why? Because of missing the clarity. When we have the conversation, people always expect some kind of clarity in the conversation. That's why I always believe that we all know that CTC means cost to company, correct? We all agree that. But
Yes.
I have one more definition. CTC means conversation that counts. So any conversation that should count, any conversation that gives clarity. So what I'm trying to say here, when roles and expectations are transparent, the ownership naturally follows without enforcement. But honestly, is it really possible in the organization, in a volatile organization, in a dynamic organization? I think it is not possible. I'll just give a small example. In 2000, I'll take about my telecom experience. I joined telecom in 2008. Yes, I remember 2008. In 2008, maybe any wild guess, how many telecom players were there in India? Any wild guess?
Two,
Any audience? Maybe
two
in
probably
2008, I'm talking about. Sorry?
two players.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
We have more than 12 telecom players.
Oh,
You
okay.
have Idea, Vodafone, Airtel, Aircel, Uninar,
Oh,
Telenar, Tata Docomo, and Telecom, BSNL, MSNL. See how many players were there. See, there are 15 players were there in telecom industry. Today, yes, today we have only 3 players because of Reliance coming to picture.
yeah,
After all kind of technology disruption, and again lot of revenues are bleeding for all the telecom players. Most of the telecom players moved out of India because they're not generating any revenues. So finally, we got into only 3 players. One is Reliance Jio, and second one is Airtel and Airtel and Telenor all mixed together one company, and Idea and Vodafone mixed together VI. That's what we call VI.
yeah.
So what I'm trying to, why I'm sharing this experience to you, because that was a dynamic industry, a very volatile industry. Telecom is a very booming segment. You know, when I moved from the FMCG, that is Coke to telecom, it's the biggest transformation change. It's the biggest cultural change for me. Why?
Mm,
Because in manufacturing in FMCG, things are going a process way.
correct.
There is
Structured. Yeah.
very structured. There is no much urgency kind of thing. But when I joined this telecom, everything they want immediately.
Yeah.
I'll give a small example here so that we'll connect, audience also very clearly. So I joined this company in the month of August. I just spent only 1 week in the company. Honestly.
Mm,
And you see, one of the CSD head, the customer service delivery head, has come to me. That is on Friday. I still remember. He told me, Ranga, we need to onboard around 30 executives, customer care executives. Because at the time, all customers are care executives are inside only. There is no outsourcing at the time. So we need to onboard 30 customer service executives by Monday. Today
mm,
is Friday. He's saying that by Monday I need to onboard. Imagine Saturday and Sunday week off. At the time, Telecom is the
yeah.
company where 5-day weekly also. So I told my wife, because I was working in Bangalore. I
Mm,
told my wife, today I'm starting, in night at 10 o'clock.
mm,
But 11 o'clock, she called me, where are you? I said, I'm not traveling today because of I have some other, job has
good.
come. I need to
Yes.
onboard 30 service call center executive by Monday. So what I'm trying to say here, guys, I think that we cannot expect everything is a clarity. You know,
Mm,
it's very easy to say a clarity of roles. Sometimes, in a kind of dynamic industry, in a kind of VUCA, we all know that volatility, uncertainty, and ambiguity and complexity. So in this kind of situation, that is post kind of COVID situations, giving a clarity for everything
mm,
is not possible. See,
okay.
that is the way the competency will plays very important role. How
Mm,
the person would able to work in ambiguity. You know,
mm,
Today organizations are also looking for the one of the competency, how he is flexible, how she is adaptable to
yeah.
understand the situation, dynamic situations. See, you can't ask everything clarity. See, you cannot expect everything. I need to be defined 1 to 10 goal. Not possible. But of course, the clarity is required, but it may not possible in the current situations.
Yeah. So, like you rightly said, in this VUCA situation, it's not possible to give clarity. So, when things happen in an organization, so how can we shift the focus from whose fault it is to what we can learn from the experience? So, there are two things, like things might go right or go wrong. So, when it goes wrong, blame game starts. So, how can we shift that to learning experience?
Yeah, very good question. So I think that is called the culture of reflection.
Mm,
So why I'm saying this, I believe the true accountability emerges when we replace a culture blame with one of the reflection.
mm,
That means turning every setback, taking every setback into a shared opportunity to learn and grow. I think the biggest example for all of us, COVID situations. You know, I think even including the manufacturing companies. I still remember at the time during COVID time, I'm working with a bioseed, which is the agriculture industry.
okay.
Can you imagine agriculture company working from home situation? Absolutely not possible
Correct.
because we are the essential commodities. We got the
Yes.
permission
Yes.
from
Permission. Yeah.
permission police people too, because we are also company essential commodities act. We have to serve because my ultimate customer is farmer. But in that kind of setback, how do you come back? How do you ensure that the employee safety? How do you ensure that all people should be responsible for the right kind of learning, right kind of opportunities? I think what I'm trying to say here, I'll give one simple example. See, instead of asking, whose responsibility for this delay, because of at the time supply chain may get delays, marketing demos may get delays, and sales also get delays. Because everything got stuck. All of a sudden everything got stuck. So what I'm trying to say that instead of asking who is responsible for this delay, I think we need to discuss what went wrong and what could we learn in that kind of situation. I think that's where it's always easy to blame others. Because of this that was not happened, because of the manpower I could not able to achieve the sales numbers. Because of production I'm not able to supply to the customer. Because of the complaints I'm not able to provide the quality of the product to my customers. See, like that, when we are sitting in a boardroom, each and every leader blaming each other, I think where we are heading towards. So what kind of culture we are creating in the organization? I think we all always need to think what went wrong, what could have been done better.
Correct.
Do they collaborate and co-create? I think which is the most important. So that's the reason I strongly believe that so this is the way our HR or people managers has to play a very vital role to engage the people managers in the right direction, and the leaders also who shift focus from fault finding to learning, creative, that innovative fearlessly. Because see, if we start blaming each other, end of the day we can blame each other only. Nothing after spending of the 2 or 3 meeting, nothing will happen. I'll give a very classic example here. I always resonate like that. See, making a film. Imagine making a film of Bahubali. All Bahubali is a 5 years project. Making a film Bahubali, I think start from the light boy to till the hero, heroine, director, producer. There are so many people are
Definitely.
engaged. Are
Yes.
engaged. Imagine there were no business leaders. There were no people from IIMs. There were no people from IITs. They're not from B schools. All are working very passionately. Everybody thinking that how do I complete my project and how do I ensure that I can give a quality output?
Yeah.
See, in this situation, the director should know when I want to have a pre-release meeting, when I'm going to complete enter the shoot, when I'm going to start the music release, everything stitched. I'm able to communicate.
Yes.
So in the flip side, if you can come to corporate, there is all CXO sitting in a boardroom. Even by the way, even film industry also, they're also doing business of 500 crores or 600 crores, 1000 crores.
Yes, definitely.
More than 500 crores, more than 600 crores. And coming to the corporate world, we're all sitting in a boardroom, including the CEOs, CEOs, all CXOs. We're also doing business of 500 crores, 1000 crores. To conclude one kind of project, some guys will push, some guys will pull. Some people say that may not possible, it may not workable, it may work kind of thing. So what I'm trying to say that here, unless we are all collaborative and co-create, it is not possible to come out of the right kind of outcome. Okay.
Correct.
So what I'm trying to cut the long story short, what I'm trying to say that we need to every person need to take an opportunity to learning. I think that's where we could able to come up with the more evaluation to bring the right kind of culture in the organization, so that everybody seamlessly learning agility will be there. So that's why I strongly believe that L, that means lifelong learning. Even though I have a 20 years of experience, maybe if you can go through my LinkedIn, every 1 week I do my certification course. Why? Because I need to update myself. Otherwise, I'll be perished. See, today, otherwise, Arul don't reach me to have this conversation.
Yes, true.
So I think that is a way, I think we need to shift from the blame to a learning culture. That's why I said the culture of reflection.
Yeah, very true. Culture plays a very important role, as you said.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like you said, learning never ends. So learning is lifelong.
Yes.
So when you speak about that, like what are the practical tools and methods that you would suggest to your teams so to stay accountable and yet deliver results?
Yeah, I think again, this accountability and motivation is always come with a empower with trust. We as a people managers, we need to trust our own people, because trust cannot be begged. Trust has to earn. I think one must start looking at how do I earn my trust. I strongly believe that the accountability thrives when it is rooted in a trust. So that's why, see, if you see the legacy organizations, like as I mentioned to you, some of the companies like where I worked in, for example, take Signor India Limited. It's a 150 years old legacy organization. Like my last company, which is DCM Shriram Group Company, Shriram Biosale, which was 150 years old kind of organization. See, the people who are working in those companies with a lot of longevity, maybe people completed 40 years, 30 years, 15 years in the organizations. Whereas flip side, if we can come to IT companies, why people are looking for change within a span of 2 years, 1 year, 3 years? Because what I'm trying to the kind of empowerment which is missing, the kind of trust is missing. Everything is micromanagement. Where are you going? What are you doing? How many the last 1 hour? You show me what you did last 1 hour. So why you kept 3 hours out of the desk? I think this kind of micromanagement always looks in a lack of trust. So that really creates people not able to motivate in the organization. They always look like a disconnect. They always want to, this is not the company I'm not looking for. I think this is not my cup of tea. I really want empowered. I really want trusted. I really want work with the people who can trust me. I think that is a way we need to create accountability. I'll give you one example here. Very strong example. There is a concept called, GRE. That means G for goals, R for roles, E for expectations. Goals, roles, and expectations. See, in any organization, we have functions like HR, finance, marketing, sales, production, quality. You name it, all functions. So every function, if you know your own GRE, what is my goal, what is my role, and what is the expectation. See, end of the day, all functions put together one common objective. What is my common objective? Increasing my revenue, increasing my margins. End of the day, bottom line, top line. Both are
productivity. Yes.
And one more thing, I think we also need to understand. See, we are running the companies for getting a profit. End of the day.
Correct.
We are not running a charity. This is not a charity business. See, that's why people losing the trust, why people losing the not getting the empowerment, because you also need to develop a trust. How do people start trusting you? The way you demonstrate, the way you act, the way you perform, the way you complete the task, the way you commitment. See, that's why I always believe that commit and deliver. What are your commitment, irrespective of any function level, you deliver. See, how the trust will start imposing on the
building,
people.
Yeah.
If you start delivering, my boss will always trust me. Okay, Ranga can be trustworthy.
Yes.
If I'm not delivering, every time I'll give some exception. No, boss, this is not happening. That is not happening because of this, because of that. Then one fine day, Ranga, I think I'm not believing you are, because you're not delivering what you're committing, what you're promising. So I think this is the responsibility of both the parties. It's not only, you cannot blame only my bosses.
That is the mutual. It has to be mutual. Yeah.
It's a mutual kind of thing. See, I start delivering more, people start trusting me. I start giving promises, delivering promises. People start trusting me. See, same thing happens at home also. How do I don't believe my son? People used to say, why? Because of he never commit. Suppose late comes to home late. Goes late. All kind of thing. So I think this small kind of things, small kind of behaviors which we can demonstrate, which are very these traits always important to perform and in the organizations across all levels. I think that's where you can see the motivating people in the organizations.
That's very nice, sir. So, in your view, what are some everyday actions leaders can demonstrate? Like you said, demonstrate trust in terms of promising and delivering as per the promise. Can you add more to that as to how to set a tone for our own team?
Yeah, see, it's very simple. See, I think today's world, data plays very vital role. Irrespective of any function you take, whether it is a finance, HR, production, sales, marketing, because sales and marketing is very tangible benefit, because we can see facts and figures, how many products you sold, what's the kind of marketing kind of. But whereas some of the support functions, like HR, finance, and any other quality production. Some of the functions, we also need to put some kind of data metrics,
Okay.
systems that support the accountability. So I believe the simple, transparent system and tools to transform accountability, the concept of consistent way of working across the organizations. Just to share with you, my previous company, we are in the agriculture sector, as I mentioned to you.
Yes.
We have introduced a performance dashboard. What is
Okay.
the performance dashboard? Every function has clearly defined certain metrics. For example, take HR. HR is what is the kind of hiring metrics? What is the kind of efficiency metric? What is the people productive metrics? Like, of course, sales, definitely we have a target versus achievement.
Yes.
Marketing, finance, quality. Like every function has given the 3 or 4 measurable metrics.
Okay.
So we need to review all these 3 or 4 measurable metrics every monthly reviews. We used to see the every departmental head, functional head has to present what is the metrics they're taken, what is the performance of those metrics. Where are we today? Where are we lagging indication? Where are we lacking indications? I think by having these kind of data enablers, I think people also look at what kind of tools we are using.
Yeah.
And how people believe in that, the productivity of the individuals, the productivity of the function. I'll give you a small example here. So what we did in this organization, every function, because being HR, I have my own stakeholders. My internal employees are stakeholders. Other functions are my stakeholders. Other, departments are my stakeholders. I being HR head, I need to ask the feedback other than HR team. Other function, how HR is enabling you guys people to have a successful of your enabling the process. So be it a policy, be it a practice, be it hiring, be it any kind of thing. I need to get the feedback from other different functions. So we told each and every functional head, so you start asking the feedback from the other functions. See, I can't expect everybody saying the excellent kind of thing. Some people say that, HR is not supporting. Some people say that I have bad experience. Because how do I know? Unless I ask.
Exactly.
So what I'm trying to say, that is a way the feedback culture, the person should also able to understand, the person should also able to resonate the feedback, what we got from the other functions. Okay. I think this kind of taking the feedback across the all functions gave me a wonderful collective collaboration across all functions. People start expecting, and somebody is saying that I think Ranga, you need to develop on this process. Yes, that's a feedback I got, because end of the day, I have to ensure that the kind of quality service I need to provide. Okay.
Correct.
It's a kind of collaboratively, and we co-created, and finally, ultimately reaching the holistic objective of the organization. I think so. These are the small kind of tools. We don't need to expect the bigger tools kind of. The small tools which are accepted by all the people, and collaboratively we can work towards that, and we can co-create such a wonderful culture in the organization.
Yeah, that's awesome. So even for a intangible service like HR and thing where to create a matrix and show the performance level. Yeah, and how did you think the feedback was received by the other departments? Like, for example, you might have received it in a very positive tone because you really want to change and bring in more performance and bring in more productivity from your side. In terms of other team members, like let's say a finance guy says, gives a feedback to a HR person, and how was that? Were they prepared to take the feedback?
Yeah, see, as I mentioned to you, getting a candidate feedbacks, it's also important. How do you take the feedback? That's why I
Exactly.
told you in the beginning also. I can't expect the feedback to always in a 1 to 5 rating. 5 is excellent. Even I also got a feedback. Ranga, we are not happy with the hiring process because it's getting a lot of delay. Because you guys are hiring it's taking more than 45 days to 50 days hiring a person. I'm not happy with the performance cycle. I'm not happy with the kind of increment what you projected to my team. I think that's where I also got feedback. Even finance I also got a feedback. I think we are not happy with the kind of employee payments. Payments are not happening on time. We are suffering. We are spending our money, but we are not getting the reimbursements on time. So what I'm trying to say that after having entered this this feedback session, we come up with one wonderful solution. Remove distractions.
Okay.
See, sales is a very clear objective because these guys
Yes.
are always
They have a
using
target. Yeah.
they have a target. Suppose if I'm not able to if I'm not able to provide the right kind of service to sales people, they'll be more worried. See, suppose simple, I'm not giving the manpower on time, they'll be worried.
Mm.
Payments are not not paying on time, they'll be worried. Marketing promotions are not coming on time, they'll be worried because they need to follow with the all other support functions. Boss, please send me, please send me, please send me, instead of concentrating on their sales targets. So
Correct.
that's the reason what we did, remove distractions. If I could able to remove the distraction for the salespeople, they can put more concentration on the field job. They'll ensure that they achieve the targets. If they achieve the targets, we'll achieve the revenues. If they achieve the revenues, we'll get the profits. See the linkages.
Yeah.
So that is one part. And second part, for HR, I took one initiative called 4R2C. So what is 4R2C? The first R, right capability. I need to ensure the right capability. First R, remove distractions, right employee connect, and right engagement. And the 2C is, one is the cost control, and second one is the continuous business. So I think, this, it looks very small, 4R2C. See,
Covers the entire process.
Entire process into imbibing into the entire 4R2C strategy. Because, end of the day, we being the leaders, as I told you in the beginning, any process should be very simple and very fast. And I also need to ensure that the person who is working remotely should be able to understand my kind of language or not.
Yes.
Should be able to understand my thought process or not. See, that's where now most of the strategies will get failed. Why? Because they're not able to understand what is the strategy behind this. So I think these are some of the simple things definitely would create a lot of impact in the organizations.
That was wonderful. So thank you so much for patiently, discussing a lot on accountability and trust building and, working as a team. So over to Pankaj.
Thank you so much, Ms. Alagu, for having a wonderful panel discussion, and Ranganath sir for really making things simple to understand. Because yes, as rightly told by you, I mean, it really caught my attention when you say that culture is being built by the people, right? And when it comes to the people, people should really understand what is that value addition they are doing as an individual. And that comes from the thought process. So when you talk about responsibility, accountability, right? Because what is happening at this point in time is everybody is just feeling that I am doing good. Everything what is happening just because of the other person.
Yes.
The real understanding should be like this. If anything is wrong, then we should introspect ourselves.
Yes.
If anything is happening good, then we should be thankful to the people around us.
Yes.
But it is vice versa. That is what is happening these days, right? And that is where all these challenges comes in, sir.
Absolutely.
So that has been my take, my learning, my understanding from what you have discussed. Let's see what people have understood, sir. So we'll have it through a mode of a quiz. Okay, so our quiz leader is going to ask one quick question and let's see who wins it by answering. So the question is based on what you have discussed in last 30-35 minutes, and the person whoso answers will get a book from one of our author. So the book name is that Prakash, Arul is just sharing. So it's a handbook on competency-based HRM, written by Mr. B. Natarajan. So the winner will get this book. So here I would like to invite our quiz leader for the day, Dr. Aishwarya, for the quick quiz, please. Hi, Aishwarya.
Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you so much for your warm welcome. So, good evening, sir. Myself, Dr. Aishwarya, a freelance corporate trainer and 360-degree assessment specialist. And the thing what you have given was excellent, sir. First, let me put the question on quiz and then I'll tell what I have enjoyed it today, right, sir? So, according to our speaker, real accountability in a team begins when the members are motivated with incentives, leaders announce rewards and recognition, responsibilities, roles, and expectations are clearly understood, and people compete to perform better. That was excellent. Many answers are coming. Yes. Great. I think Nirupama has given the first right answer. Congratulations, Nirupama.
So then we should really congratulate Nirupama ji. So congratulations, Nirupama ji. So you get the book and also an opportunity with a bonus to unmute yourself and ask one quick question to our guest, Mr. Ranganath. So you can unmute and ask your question, Nirupama ji.
Thank you, Pankaj.
So do we have Nirupama there?
Yeah.
Yeah. After long, you
Thank
have
you so
joined.
much.
Us.
Yeah, this is my time of getting down, and every time I come to the session, I'll be on listening mode, and I just reach home by 7:05 or something. So,
Right.
thank you, Pankaj, for having us here, and thank you, Arul and Prakash, for inviting us to be here. And Mr. Ranganath and Alagu had a very great conversation. The conversation among both of you was very good, and I was on listening mode while on my two-wheeler. It was very insightful for me because the topic called accountability got me here today. So my question here is, we understand the accountability, how to make someone accountable is something like, we need to build it as a culture by default. So uh, how do I make this culture as a default? Like you said, it has to be universally across the organization. That is one point which I've taken away, which we do, but we have different departments and different type of mindset. And also it comes as a seniority level. So how do we make sure for someone who's very senior in the organization, like when I was a senior 8 years in the organization, and someone who is just 2 months old in the organization? So these differences I see a lot. So how can we neutralize this when we talk about it should accountability should be made as a culture? How do we make them understand? The first one, 8 years, because they think we know everything because we're here for 8 years. The second one, they say, I have seen so many corporate life, and they will imbibe those cultures here. So it's a bit tricky to handle these two categories. So if you can share some details on that, please.
Thank you very much, Nirupam, for asking such a wonderful question. In fact, this happens in any organizations. If you take any organization, we have 4 generations are there: Gen X, Gen Z, Gen Y, millennials, and now millennials also coming. So unless we have the collaborative approach in the organization, it's very difficult. I'll give a simple solution. You ask the what, how do you fix up this? I'll give a solution. So we have a concept called RACI, RACA, the RACI concept, which is a very scientifically proved concept. This is RACI means R means responsibility, A means accountability, C means consult, I means inform. RACI, responsibility, accountability, consult, and inform. See, in organization, what will happen? There a lot of redundancy will be there. Some 2-3 people doing the same job, but they're not accountable. Okay. Suppose you prepared one kind of note which has to be approved. So you need to speak to your boss, and boss has to go to other CEO, and CEO has to go to other board members. So entire this approach, what is happening, taking long time, and we need to consult many people to avoid such kind of conversations. If every function, if you could able to come up with what are the activities in the particular function, but they name it HR is a function. For example, hiring up to mid level, up to senior level, up to junior level. To who is the responsibility, who is the accountability, and whom to be consulted and whom to be informed. For example, for a lower level position, you need to go to head of HR. I think you can take a call at level, and you can also understand how much CTC you can fix it up. I'm giving a small example to you. So like that, if you can able to picture all activities in the organization, every function in the RACI matrix, who is the responsible person? See, all people are not responsible. That's it. The biggest mistake will happen in the organization. Everybody is responsible. Then, but who is accountable? I'm also responsible. My team member is responsible. Other people are responsible. Nobody is to take care of the accountability. So that was the reason I'm mandatorily I'm telling you, you need to clearly mention who is the responsible. Head HR is responsible for this activity. HRBP is responsible for accountability, and whom to consult. Maybe the respect to cross-functional CXO has to be consulted. To whom to be informed? Maybe informed to the CEO or MD to be informed. I think if you can able to demarcate all the activities, every function in RACI concept, believe me, the most of the complexity and most of the the cultural barriers will come down. So this is what we implemented in my previous organization. Believe me, initially it's very tough. First of all, the moment you ask me, tell me what is the active, how are you spending 8 hours in the organization? I have to think 10 times. I don't know how I'm spending. That is where they're missing the clarity, But we are always busy. You are busy. I am busy. My team member is busy. But employees are trying for their services. Nobody is happy with that one. But but we are all busy. What I'm trying to say that because we're all doing with a lot of massive work. because we don't know who is responsible, who is accountable, and whom to consult, whom to inform. So believe me, if you could able to articulate every function on these activities, if you can put RACE every in a RACE and all activities, put in a chart, believe me, 50 to 60 to 70% of the people problems will get resolved, irrespective of any level you're talking about.
This seems to be a very great framework for me to begin with my own team members. So when you say inform, is it for stakeholders, you mean to say?
Of course,
respective stakeholders?
For everything, you not to go to April. For example, I'll give a simple example. There's a policy, okay? For example, policy for employee travel, okay? The policy is very clear, signed, proposed by HR head, or recommended by the CFO, and signed by the CEO. Already policy is there. Normally, what we intend to do, if any employee is submitting the travel bills, we again seek for approvals. Correct or not? In the argument, what will happen? You please get approval from your reporting manager. Once you get approval, no, you're already crossing your budget. Please get approval from your functional head or CEO kind of thing. So what I'm trying to say, in this process, even the policy already clearly defined. There is an objective, there is a scope, there is a rules and regulations. Everybody signed on the policy. But again, why are you asking to get a signature from your reporting manager? In a simple way, I'm telling you. This get delayed the entire the process. Employee get frustrated. How many signatures he has to take? The policy very clearly defined. This is an unnecessary administrative process to enter the organization also. So these kind of, that's what I told you, remove the distractions. If policy clearly defined, if the value clearly defined, take a call. See, that is where taking the risk-taking ability. You should be in a position to inform means you need to inform the policymaker, that's all. End of the month, end of the quarter, you can tell me how many, as per the people employees, as per the eligibility, how much they claim, how many exceptions. That's all. Your job is over. But every time getting a signature, that not make sense at all. I think these are kind of things which are very important to organization, which directly enter the process.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Ranganath. Thank you so much. I got other frameworks as well during the session, and the GRE was my key takeaway point. And thanks to Aishwarya, that GRE itself was the answer to the question where I was thinking that's the key takeaway point. Thanks, Aishwarya. Thanks, Alagu.
For joining. Thank you for willing hands as well.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you.
So I believe
the session was so insightful, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Aishwarya. Thank you so much. So do we have any questions? We can have one question because already we are at 7:20. So if anyone would like to ask question, one quick question, and then you move forward. And if not, then I would like to invite our summary leader, Mr. Nellai, for summarizing the session.
I think Ranganath sir had explained it so beautifully in a simple way with lot of frameworks. So
Yes,
I think
yes.
These takeaways are more than, we can work on all this.
Very true, very true, very true. Thank you so much. Over to Mr. Nellai.
Good evening, one and all. Thanks to Bija Training for this opportunity as a summary leader. Dear Ranganath sir, truly insightful perspective on the building a culture of accountability. Your points are and examples are both thought-provoking and impactful, sir. And I would like to summarize the key points. I have taken all those key 14 points. And the first point is accountability is built through the inspiration, not enforcement. It's about creating a responsibility and trust where people act because they want to do, and not because they have to do. And second point, the leadership shapes the accountability. Like parents guiding children, leaders must nurture responsibility, not control behavior. And third, culture evolves from shared values and behavior. Every organization, like a family, has its own ethics, traditions, and learning stages that shapes accountability. And fourth, communication and collaboration are the core. Open dialogues and the teamwork ensure the people stay aligned and engaged. And fifth one, employee experience reflects the organizational culture. Hospitality, clarity, and transparency from the first interaction make a lasting impact. Today, the people join for culture, not just salary. And sixth, clarity prevents attrition. Redefine CTC as a conversion to clarity. Clear roles, ownership, and goals build a long-term commitment. In 7, in the VUCA world, clarity and competence matter most. Success depends on how flexible and adaptive people are in the changing environmental. And the eighth, shift from the blame to learning. When things go wrong, focus on what failed, not who. Every setback can be turned into opportunity. And the nine, and co-creation drives success. Like Bahubali project, every role from light boy to director must contribute and to collective excellence. And the 10, and empowerment and trust sustain accountability. Micromanagement erodes trust, empowerment enable ownership. And 11, and use the GRE model, goal, role, expectation. Every function must know its GRE to align with the organization top line and bottom line goals. And 12, and data and transparency strengthen accountability. Measurable metrics, feedback loops, and stakeholder inputs make performance visible and fair. And apply, and 13, and apply 4R 2C principle. Right capability, remove distraction. Right employee, right connect, and cost control and continuous business should be there. And the 14, RAC enhances clarity and accountability. Using RAC model, responsible, accountable, consultant, and informed ensures everyone knows their ownership levels and avoid overlap, and promotes smoother collaboration across the team. As a closing thought, accountability is not about a control, it's about a connection. When leaders inspire a responsibility, create clarity, and empower trust, people stop asking who is at fault and start asking what can we improve. That's when accountability become culture. Thank you, sir.
Wonderfully narrated, Mr. Nayan.
That was an awesome summary. Like,
very well captured.
missed you for a very long time, Nellai sir.
So just to share, Mr. Ranganath, Mr. Nellai is our one of the summary leader who summarizes all the sessions which happens every week.
Excellent.
So he
Excellent.
summarized it so well. In just 13, 14 pointers, he has summarized entire thing.
See, that is the way the learning culture, because I really learned from him. I don't know, I spoke all these things, but the way he summarized, I could recollect. I can resonate myself. Oh, that's very good.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Nayan.
Thanks for acknowledging, sir. Thank you so much. So we look forward. So as we move forward, I would like to invite our word of thanks leader, Ms. Jaya Devi, for a quick word of thanks, please.
Hello, all. A very good evening. I'm Jaya Devi. I'm a corporate trainer. Thank you so much for the opportunities by Bija Training. And good evening, everyone. This is I'm Jaya Devi. We're getting a clarity on building a culture of accountability. A culture of accountability thrives when expectations are clear, ownership shared, and follow through this consistent. Let me quickly share again our purpose of this thriving leadership community. Leaders Connect 360 Foundation is a non-profit organization aligned with the United Nations Sustainability Development. And we are a hybrid model leadership community bringing together leaders every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 11:15, where experts their field provide solution on real time leadership challenges. And every last week of the month, we take a deeper dive into the knowledge of inviting the authors to share insights from their books, helping to grow as leaders and lifelong learners. And today we had a privilege, our guest speaker, Mr. V S Ranganath, sir, Vice President, Head Human Resource of Tropilite. Such a positive and practical experience in the handle your journey, the accountability and responsibilities, and how we are setting the trust about the employees. Such a wonderful takeaways we are taken through this session. Such a positive and practical experience in your journey, sir. And our dynamic moderator, Mr. Pankaj, sir, for leading such an enriching conversation today. Thank you, sir. And also our energetic panel discussion leader, Ms. Alagu, ma'am. And now we have a small token of appreciation or presenting a thank you video to express our gratitude. See you on next Wednesday. Until then, keep shining, keep growing. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Ms. Jaya. Thank you so much. So, Arul, can we have a thanking video, please? Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Arul, for the welcome video. Thank you video. So, thank you, Ranganathan sir. Thank you, Alagu. Thank you, Nirupama ji. Thank you, everyone out here. And over to you, Arul, for